This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Egman here with another video, and today we're going to look at the Starter Deck 9 Ultimate Ancient Dragon, also known as like the blue-green for BT8, like Imperial starter deck that we're getting at the end of this month. And I'll be honest, this is an incredibly powerful starter deck just out of the box itself. And so today we're just going to look at the cards we get inside these, and then also the ratios. I'll be saying most of them get 4, but spoilers, if you want anything that's actually good, you're going to have to get 2 of these starter decks. And then also at the end, we're going to have an example deck list to kind of go over and make it a little bit more viable for a competitive scene. But yeah, very, very strong. Also, since this is for BT8, where we do have a whole bunch of new mechanics such as the DNA Digivolve and like multicolor Digimon, everything. I do have a video going over that in my description as well. So make sure to check that out if you guys are new to this new meta. And let's just kind of jump on into it. We do have our first Digi-Egg, so it is just a green Minomon. Your turn when you have a blue Digimon in play, this Digimon gets plus 1k DP. This is fine. Normally the eggs out of these starter decks are not fantastic anyways. And even though it's blue, most of the time you probably want to be playing Upamon or Demi Vmon anyways. So this is just fine. Yeah, I don't think you need it, but we're just going to go to the rookies from here. So we do have these rookies, and something that's interesting that's new to right now, we have these rookies that can Digivolve on top of 2 different eggs. You'll see all the rookies except for the Kokabutarimon have that functionality with it, which is really cool. Just means that you can pretty much run 2 different kinds of rookies, but 1 kind of egg for your cards. So it helps the consistency in that, and just how flexible it is really cool. We do have this Wormmon. End of turn, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and 1 of your other Digimon play into a Digimon card within your hand by paying its DNA Digivolve cost. So what this means is that you can kind of, even though let's say you kind of want to go into one of your level 5s, you do have your level 4 out with Wormmon underneath it, and you have to hard cost another level 4 just to get the requirements out, but you switch to your opponent's turn by playing that level 4. This Wormmon effect will let activate, and then you'd be able to kind of go into your level 5. And most of these DNA Digivolve costs are 0 anyways, at least memory-wise, so it's still technically for free, and that extra boost is really, really nice. We also do have this Betamon, just a solid vanilla rookie, with 0 cost and a 4k DP. So just generic and just kind of help consistency wise. Obviously not too bad, just a hard cast for 3-2. It's just, generically good for what it is. We also have the Kokabutarimon, like we said. Obviously this would have to be more of a green Digi-Egg than a blue one, since you don't get that dual color, but it does have opponent's turn. When you have a blue Digimon in play, this Digimon gains blocker. So being able to have these rookies with conditional blocker, I think, are kind of nice and can help kind of be a little bit defensive. Obviously, though, they're very easy to get rid of, but they are kind of nice for that. And then we do have the Vmon, which you only get 2 of in this. View the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with free and its traits among them to your hand, place the remaining cards at the bottom deck of your, in any order, which you can pretty easily make a deck that is simply only free trait Digimon. There's so many of them right now. There's so many Imperialdramons, Pilgrimons, like the whole line is pretty, there's a lot of Digimon with that name, those traits right now. So it's very easy for this one to kind of go off. So kind of like that. Moving on to the champions. So we do have the ST9. It's security at the end of battle. Play this card without paying its memory cost, and on play suspend 1 of your opponent's Digimon. So this is kind of like a what is it? This is just kind of like a flower cannon on a body, which is kind of nice. Obviously it's only suspending 1, but being able to do that is great. Green and like the other colors didn't have as many of these good, on play security Digimon that kind of like blue and red did get from the previous starter deck. So this is good for what it is. If there's like a green security based archetype, this would definitely be good in it. This is okay for what it is too. What's also nice about this guy is that unlike the Mastamon one, where it's a level 4 and the DNA Digivolve for Mastamon is on 5 to 6, since this one is like 4 to 6, you can do its on play, or like if you get it out security, it means that you can have like a free like DNA Digimon set up for the next turn, which is kind of nice. You do also have the Stingmon, which is crazy good. When you play this card from your hand, if you have a blue Digimon play, reduce the cost by 1. So being able to just play this for 3 is the sweet spot. Obviously, memory tamers love setting you to 3. So anything that you can do that costs 3 or less is fantastic, because you can do it and usually keep it your turn. So the Stingmon is no exception. And something that's really easy to do is that if you have a level 4 in your raising, you just push it out. For example, this XVmon, you can play the Stingmon for 3. It's still your turn. You can do your DNA Digivolve and kind of go off from there. Very strong. And then also has a 1 attacking that's also not once per turn. If you have a blue Digimon in play, you can draw 1, which can include the card on top of itself or include itself. So very, very crazy. And then the same thing for this XVmon. Same kind of power level for both, where you can reduce it by 3. You can do the exact same thing I'm saying in reverse. And also when attacking a green Digimon in play, this Digimon gets plus 1 KDP for the turn. I think Stingmon's still a little bit better, but they're both very important for the archetype in itself. Next up, we do have the Ultimates. Probably the best one outright is the one that you obviously only get 2 of, but it is the Paildramon DNA Digivolve for 0 for a blue level 4 and a green level 4. When Digivolving, when DNA Digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 6 KDP or less to the bottom of its owner's deck, which is very, very good. There's so many cards that are 6 KDP or less right now. Most of like the kind of generic like level 5s or level 4s are below that thing. So if you're just kind of going 1 for 1 with your opponent, you're both trying to build your stacks and stuff. This Paildramon is somewhat fantastic at getting rid of something. And also it has this 1 attacking once per turn that's also not a hard, it's once per turn, but it's not, how am I saying this? Like more of the time, like if you have this 1 attacking unsuspend, you do it like on the turn you play it, but this can just swing twice indefinitely, right? It is once per turn, but if it survives both the swings, it goes back to your turn. You can swing twice with it again. So that's normally pretty crazy for like a level 5 like this. And honestly, it's super easy to get this to have like jamming as well. So this just does a whole bunch of damage by itself, and it's pretty absurd. All the versatility and how strong this Paildramon really is. We also do have the Dino Beamon too, so does the other side. So green level 4 and a blue level 4. When Digivolving, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and then when DNA Digivolving, that Digimon does not unsuspend during its owner's next suspend phase. So this is obviously the duality of both. These blues definitely more about just swinging more and just kind of having some disruption. Green is more about getting that suspend and doing some piercing, controlling the board more than being aggressive with it. So your turn. Also, this Digimon gets plus 1 KDP for each of its colors. So you can easily get this, have plus 1 or 2K on whatever you Digivolve on top of this too. And Paildramon is just way better though. Spoilers. So, but Dino Beamon's like fine for what it is. We also do have Jewel Beamon, which is just on stats fine, like a cheap Digivolve for 2 to go up if you don't have your chain. But I think the Paildramon and Dino Beamon are really just fantastic. Then we have our megas, and again, we get 2 of the better mega, but it's fine. I don't think you actually run 2 more. Like 2 is like fine for this Paildramon anyways. I don't think you run 3 or 4. But when Digivolving, you may play 1 level 4 or one level 4 or lower blue Digimon card, and or 1 level 4 or lower green Digimon card from this Digimon's Devolution cards without paying their memory cost. Which just means, like, this is just crazy, right? Being able to play this, and you get 2 sources underneath it. Obviously, if you did a DNA Digivolve with Paildramon, with Stingmon, and XVmon, you do the, you go into Paildramon, you get your swings, and then after that, you go into your Paildramon Dragon mode, and you get to play the XVmon and the Stingmon again, which means you can, next turn, just do another DNA Digivolve with them as well. Really crazy with it. Also, it's not, like, rare to do this, too. If you do this Digivolve for 4, and you keep it your turn, even though you play the Stingmon, XVmon, or whatever your level 4s are from there, you can do another DNA Digivolve into like a Paildramon or Dino Beamon. And since you do the DNA Digivolve, it resets everything that's underneath it, and it can swing. So even though technically the Stingmon and the XVmon will still have summoning sickness, by doing a DNA Digivolving, which is 0, so you can easily keep it, you will always keep it your turn when doing it, you get to then again swing with the Paildramon or Dino Beamon, which, once again, Paildramon getting 2 swings is just absurd based on how much value you get. It's super duper good. You should be. it is crazy when it goes off, and you feel very bad when it happens to you. But good card, a great kind of way to extend your plays, and I really like it. And then we also have the Grand Kuwagamon. It's Curie Attack plus 1 inherently, and it gets plus 4K for the turn when Digivolving. I don't think we've Grand Kuwagamon is either like always like great or terrible for what it is. I think this is just fine. Obviously the other mega is just so much better, but being able to get a Security Tech plus 1 on a 15K is fine. Also Digivolve, Digivolve for 3, which means you can easily keep it your turn and get the swing. It's fine. but I don't have much else to say about it. And then lastly, we do have these options. So we do have this multicolor option, which again, you do have to have something that's blue and something that's green out. A blue, just having the Imperial meets that cost though, because you do have blue and green. But it does have suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, then return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to its owner's hand. So that's pretty good, being able to get some good board wipe. Also, it does have the security to activate the card's main effect too. So this pops pretty much anything on the board, which is kind of nice. You also have the Hell Masquerade. So one of your Digimon get plus 2k DP for the turn. Then if you have a blue Digimon in play, one of your Digimon gains piercing. So being able to get that double boost, and obviously it has like a lot of synergy with like the Dino Beamon, where you can suspend something and then you can give it the extra boost. So it's a 10k piercing that kind of goes off from there. So that's fine. It is what it is. It's not great, but it's fine. And then the security is just adding to the hand. And we also do have 4 reprints of Flower Cannon. It's not really a card that's been seeing a lot of play right now, but it is still pretty good. It's a great security option when you hit it if your opponent's trying to go in. It's it's a little bit more janky than it usually is, but I think it's a cool reprint. It's even though we have a couple of reprints of this card anyways, but that is the entire deck for the card list. And now let's go to the example deck list that I have ready for you guys. All right, here is the example deck list that I have for you guys. Also, if you just skipped here and to the end of the video for it, that means you gotta like or subscribe, baby, or both. All right, that is the responsibility of the viewer to do so. But anyways, if you also want this list, it is going to be in the description of this video too, so you can just click on this and not hear me ramble about it. Once again, you gotta like the video in case to do that. All right, otherwise I'll find out. All right, so don't get in trouble. Just hit the like button, and we'll all be good. Anyways, going into this main list, there's just so many good cards in this Vmon. It's been getting it's probably like one of the most supported archetypes in this game, just because it's pretty much dual colored before dual color was a thing. There's so many lines. There's so many Vmons that have been printed good, too, and most of them are good cards. So there's always just so much synergy for this guy. I do have the side deck. These are just like generically other cards that are free trade and can kind of go into them. All of these have moderately been good from when they were printed too. So I think there's some flexibility in what you want. But going into the rookies, we do have 14. Yeah, we got 14. We got the Vmon jamming. This card's always not bad. It was like the best rookie in the game for a long time. It's still good for what it is. And it can, just being able to get this free swing if you have Upamon as your egg, which we probably were just running the 4 Upamons, get that consistent draw. It's very, very good. We also do have the expansion set Vmon, where inheritable once per turn when this Digimon becomes unsuspended during your main phase, you get to gain 1 memory. We don't have a lot of ways to do that in this build as much, but Petriform being able to swing, then restand, and then swing, again is fantastic. So that kind of helps it. But there's some other cards that kind of have this ability or, can gain the benefits of this too. We do also have the Vmon from the previous starter deck. So Vmon's got 2 starter decks and the most recent one. So obviously it's going to be strong, right? But card effect, your turn, if your opponent has a level 6 or higher Digimon in play, you can Digivolve this into an all-force Featuremon with a memory cost of 4, ignoring its requirements. So being able to, do a quick one to this guy is good. This also just kind of fits the theme of the deck too, being able to get some removal if you need it. So I like this in just like the way to cheat, but also inherited effect when attacking. If you have 7 or fewer cards in hand, you get to draw 1, and then which is great. Like if you're doing some like early swings or something else, being able to get that additional card draw just to find all your pieces. We are kind of like a combo deck anyways, so being able to find what we need is very important. Then we also do have the Vmon from the star deck that we've already kind of talked about. This gets pretty much everything that's not Gorillamon or All Force. Actually, does this have free in its traits? It does not. It does not have that. Do the big boys have them? I do not know. Anyways, it gets like most things from it. So Gorillamon is just for the cheap devolution as well, especially if you just need to get another level 4 out to do your free stuff. He's good. Also, he's still like a big 6k boy. He's fantastic. X Vmon is probably the best card for this deck. Has jamming on when swinging, and then also inheritable if it's Imperialmon or free in his traits, it gains jamming. Which once again, jamming with Petriform with 2 swings is just broken. This if you could run 8 of this guy, you would for sure. Singmon, we already know. We got 1 extra Petriform. Getting the unstand, or what is it? The inheritable is good. It has jamming too, so that's kind of good for you. Talked about Petriform. We talked about Dino Beamon. We also do have the fighter mode. So this reduces its devolution cost by 2 if you go on top of a dragon mode. So going here into this guy is pretty good. And then when digivolving, return one of your opponent's Digimon with 10k DP or less to the owner's hand, which is pretty much anything outside of a level 6 or higher. And when attacking, once return, if it's a blue card and this devolution card, unsuspend one of your opponent's Digimon. If it's a green card, you can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So being able to do that is great. Like, you can do either a lot of board control, you can rest some stuff. Even just doing the devolution for 5 for this guy isn't terrible, because it just helps get rid of stuff on your opponent's board, and then you have a big threat for the next turn. We talked about All Force Vidramon, Imperial Dramon. We also do have the Paladin mode. This is just more of a cool card right now. I haven't really played it outright, but why not, right? We do have this guy. So when one of your Digimon or Digivolve into this card from your hand, return one white level 7 card from your trash to the bottom of your deck to reduce the cost by 4. And when Digivolving, when attacking, or when you're attacking, you get to choose on both. It's also not once per turn, which is crazy because there's so much restanding in this deck. We return 1 2-color card from the Digivolution cards to the bottom of its owner's deck to trash all Digivolution cards from your opponent's Digimon. Then return all of your opponent's Digimon with no sources to the bottom of their owner's deck. So this outright just gets rid of something and then can kind of keep going from there, which is good. We got Ice Wall because we can only run 1. We got Blue Memory Boost to help our memory and finding the cards we need. This also finds blue-green cards because it's when this is printed, there's no such thing as like mono blue, so it's fine. Hammer Spark at 3, Davis, because this is like the best boy for you. Having Davis just pretty much wins you the game. You get so much search for it, and getting, setting the 3 is just really, really good in this deck. And then also a Davis and Ken. So this is a new blue-green one. Pretty much at the start of your turn, if you have a blue Digimon, you gain 1. If you have a green Digimon, you gain 1. And then when one of your Digimon digivolves into a Digimon of 2 or more colors, you can suspend this tamer to unsuspend that Digimon. So this is kind of like cuter. Honestly, I'd almost just say 4 Davis and like one or 2 of these still. But I think this is, I don't know, setting your memory to 3 pretty much makes this deck fantastically good and very easy to pilot. That's kind of all I have to say about this guy, though. This is based off the list that I got from Dan Vang when he was playing on my stream with me last week too. So he kicked my butt with a list like this pretty much all night. It was I hope it was entertaining, because it was not fun at times, but that's really all I have to say. I think this deck's going to be pretty consistently tier 1 for most of the meta, unless anything changes with it. It's very strong, it's very consistent, and can just blow out your opponent if they're not expecting it. So that's going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you have anything, you have questions or anything, please do it in the comments. I did also make a Starter Deck 10 video for this. I did make a rulings and kind of just like the new mechanics for this too. And then after this, we're going to kind of just go into individual decks for the BT8 meta. So if you have something you want me to cover, let me know, but that's really going to be it for me today. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.
Damn it. Damn it.